like an addict, ooh, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.
Let me get this screen off of here. All right, welcome guys. Happy Tuesday, April 9th. Grab your popcorn, grab your beer. We're going to hang out for a little bit and just chat with you. We got Mediocre in the house. I got a couple of other folks invited, and we'll just see who all shows up. Shoot me a DM if you're one of our regular guests and you'd like to stop in. And without further ado, let's get Mediocre in here. Mediocre, my friend, how are you doing?
Cheers, brother.
Hang on, Mediocre. I'm going to let you say hello to some folks. The wife just got home.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Manuel? Matt, what's going on? David. What's cracking? Monkey Tamer. That's funny. I like it. Oh, boy. Who else we got? How's everybody doing tonight? Hope we're having a good night.
All right, I'm back.
How are you?
I'm doing swell. I'm starving, so I'm working on getting my supply of popcorn eaten. You know, the pantry's loaded up, and we didn't have a movie today. After all, I thought I was going to go to one. Things came up, so we'll do that later this week. I want to go see what's that the monkey movie out right now? Monkey Man.
Monkey Man.
Yeah, I saw Civil War. Fantastic movie. You guys are going to love that. Go see it in freaking IMAX because the sound is going to blow you away. Yes, babe, Monday. I asked you last week if you were working Monday. It was a special premiere. She's like, "What? We'll go see it again. Don't worry."
Tony, give me 1 second. I got to set something up real quick, all right?
All right. Who is that? Smooth operator. How you doing? David H, David M, Matt. What's going on, guys? Sorry, we just threw this together at the last minute. I just dropped a video from CinemaCon. If you guys haven't seen it, go check that out. Kind of interesting news. Adam Aaron saying that Chapter 11 is inconceivable for AMC. That's a pretty bold statement. And I don't think that they say those kind of things in public just off the cuff. Just my opinion. They can get away with a lot, but with forward-looking statements, and they always have the right to change their mind if circumstances change. But what he sees right now, I think he's trying to calm the waters that, all these people running around yapping their mouth on social media, AMC's going bankrupt, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to go bankrupt with nearly $1 billion in the bank. That's just dumb. Not this year, anyways. Things that have to be really bad all the way for the rest of this year and another year, and they'd have to blow through all of the potential additional equity raises they could do, and the price would have to be smashed down to pennies. So if Q2 is good, Q3 and Q4 are better, then we move into a 2025. They should have enough cash. He apparently feels confident enough to make a statement like that. I'm curious what you guys think. I know there's going to be a lot of people mad that I even dared to make a video. It's funny. I past couple days I make a video reading an article. Oh, you're pumping AMC. You dips. I'm reading an article. Go squawk at the reporter. Don't squawk at me. I don't want to hear it. My job on YouTube is to report the news of things I find interesting. I found that interesting. Y'all can go suck it if you don't like it.
I found it interesting too, Tony, to be honest. I said, oh, man, isn't that crazy? Wasn't expecting him to say anything like that now, were you?
I was not expecting that. David asked, is that AMC popcorn? It is. In fact, it's got extra butter leaked out the top of the bag, David. Well, I've tried the low salt, the regular, and the extra butter. And the extra butter comes with butter packets that you pour over the top. Butter, butter flavored.
AMC special butter.
Yeah, the special butter. I don't want to know what it is, but because I'm got my keyboard and stuff here, I didn't pour the extra greasy stuff on top. This is just the straight out of the bag. And the other thing I like to do with this is pour it in a bowl and put a couple of drops of truffle oil and some Parmesan cheese on there. Some real Parmesan. Ooh, that is good stuff. That is some good damn stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean,
what do you think about the article, Mediocre?
I like the article, but I have to change my trading strategy again.
So let's talk about trading strategy because, guys, we have a group on Discord where we set up our trades on Monday. We confer with the latest DD, the charts, what's going on in the economy. We're not just one of these guys that looks at a chart, predicts an algo, and then sets our trades. We are doing real DD, including all the hours I put in every day, trying to understand what the company's going to do. But, Mediocre, he likes to look at the charts. I like to look at the filings and figure out what the execs are going to do. I like the economics and looking at the macro market. We have other guys that are options specialists that they love options. We're all kind of generalists at everything, but we each have our own little specialty. So let's talk, Mediocre, about the trades we've been doing this week. I'll let you go for a minute.
Yeah. So this week, we kind of did a combination of a couple things, right? We hold shares on top of, we want to buy shares too, but we want to buy shares at a cheaper price, right? So on the shares we own, at least I did, I sold some $3 call options, which means that if we close above $3, I lose my shares, which is fine. I'm okay with that as long as the price stays around $3. I'll just buy my shares back the next Monday or whatever. But
for the folks that are joining in, why would you sell $3 covered calls on shares that you own in your portfolio? What's the reason that you would do that?
Because
for people that are not options traders.
All right. So the reason why I would do that this week specifically is because I know that dilution is not over. So Aaron and AMC has a lot of shares that they need to sell into the market, right? And I don't suspect them of being done yet. So
and we don't suspect they will be done this week.
Exactly. So that is going to hold the price down. And armed with that information, I think if I sell my shares at $3, I collect a premium on that. For example, I got 11 cents a share.
Now, Mediocre, you're just trading pennies.
Pennies, yeah. I mean, Tony knows I got a lot of shares, don't I, Tony?
Yeah, let's put it this way, guys. If you are thinking pennies when you hear us talk about 9 cents a share, first of all, you got to realize whether it's 9 pennies. Sometimes options we're trading are 18, 25, 45 pennies. That's times 100 shares. So you're talking $9, $25, $45. Then times the thousands of shares that, for example, Mediocre has. I know these guys sometimes are making $1,000 a week. So you can take your pennies, your little penny talk, and stuff it right up your ooh, ooh. because you don't know. Anybody who's yapping about mediocre's pennies obviously does not know how to trade options or what you can make when you have a decent amount of shares. So just putting it in context for the dummies out there.
So I can say I made 11 cents a share, and I got a lot of shares. It's a lot of money, and that allows me to buy more shares. So I take that premium, roll it right back into the stock, have a good day, right? And I know people don't. Some AMC shareholders don't like that, whatever. But it's my account. That's how I choose to trade it. I'm a trader for one. And
you're not going to affect the price this week anyways, mediocre, because we know AMC is suppressing the price with dilution. Not intentionally. They're trying to raise money, and we've already done the math that it's not likely to go over $3 because every time it does, they're going to sell into that. So
exactly. If it goes anywhere near 310, 312, believe me, the volume's going to come and push it back down. So there's that. And so with some of the premium I took, I turned around and I sold some put options. The reason I would sell put options is because I got 12 cents a share. It was interesting this week because the calls and the puts were divided right down the middle, even money on both sides. So, and that allows me to buy shares cheaper than $3, right? If you're going to buy a lot of shares, you can buy them less than $3. You're going to get 11 cents. Think about it. That's what's that? $2.89 a share.
Mediocre. We got a couple of numbskulls over there, the little hate squawkers that don't. They say they understand options, but they get confused when you and I talk about selling put options, or when I talked about hedging my shares with puts. Oh, Tony seems pretty proud of his puts. Guys, I've been holding shares. And as I told you last week, I expected a dilution announcement. So to protect the shares I was holding, you do what's called hedging. Buy a put option in case the share price erodes. Your put option protects you. So my shares were down. The ones that I sold the bulk of my shares right before the dilution, the day before, per DD that I disclosed in Discord to all of these guys in our trading group. I did that. Not all of them did it. They didn't all, believe my DD to the same extent. So everybody did something different. But I sold most of my shares. I kept some. And the ones that I kept, I hedged with $4 strike January puts. That's a hedging technique, a protection. My shares were down 30%, which is what I expected. And my put options were up about 34%. So that completely protected my position. And I did close those out. I bought them back. Or let's see, I bought puts, so I sold them to close. Because I don't see the price going much lower than where it's at. I could be wrong, but I went ahead and collected that income.
I don't know. You think you're wrong with that article?
That's buying that. I bought puts. I'm out of that trade now. Mediocre is talking about selling cash secured puts, which is our way to earn premium from options and get an entry to buy shares. So when you hear us talking about selling puts, we are doing it with the intent to buy shares.
Exactly. It's a bullish.
Walk them through your example, mediocre. You sold $3 puts.
I sold $3 puts. So I sold $3 calls and I sold $3 puts. The reason I would do something like that is just to collect a premium because I believe the stock price is going to trade at $3. It's going to close, $3.01, $3, $2.99, somewhere around there, right? That's what I believe. That's what I'm thinking for this week. With that said,
so you sold the puts, you get to collect and keep the premium right away.
Yep.
If it closes above $3 on Friday, you don't buy any shares. You just get to keep the money from the options. If it closes at $2.95, then what? You sold the puts for say 15 cents.
So if it closes at $2.95, I get the shares that I sold the puts on, right?
You would be exercise and you'd be forced to buy the shares
Correct.
at $3, 100 shares times however many contracts you sold.
Correct. And so if it closes above $3, though, I lose the shares that I sold contracts again.
Well, let's not confuse the calls. Let's just talk about the puts for a second. I want to make sure people silo this information and understand the strategies.
All right. Perfect.
You sold the $3 puts. You collected,
correct.
say, $15 premium per contract. If it closes at $2.95, you will be assigned 100 shares per contract at $3.
Correct.
But you made $15. So your basis is actually $2.85, even though your broker is going to buy you in at $3.
Absolutely.
So that's the benefit, guys. I'm trying to explain this multiple times slowly, just for those that are not used to options trading. When you're selling cash secured puts and you're okay buying at the strike price, I think I was selling them also at 16 and 18 cents. So my basis, if I get assigned on Friday, which I'm fine, I'd love to buy it under $3. I already have been buying with cash under $3. I'm fine to take more, but my basis, because of the premium I collected on selling the puts, will be, if I get assigned on those shares, I'll be buying them and I'll have a cost basis of like $2.82, $2.82.
I love that.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah, it's
so don't take our strategies as being bearish. We're trying to explain to you the strategy of what we're doing to get an entry and maintain as low a basis as possible.
That's right. And that article changes things, because that article, to me, is a bullish article, right? What's that going to do to the stock price? Is it going to create more buying pressure, right? Is that going to happen? Are we going to trade above $3 now? Like, 305, whatever we trade at. That's going to affect what I have to do. I can't. So next week, I can't sell a $3 call option, because if it's trading at 305 to 310 or something like that, it puts more risk at me losing my shares. If when AMC is done with their dilution and the stock price rises to, say, 345, then so I lost.
If we're right that this quote from Adam Aaron, Chapter 11, Inconceivable, is meaningful. Like, I'm not big on decoding tweets, Mediocre.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not big on decoding tweets. In fact, I've made fun of people that do it. But I don't give them a hard time, because most of them mean well and it's entertaining. Sometimes I find it funny. I never would make any investing decisions off of any CEO's tweets. However, that being said, when he's talking to a reporter and he says Chapter 11 is inconceivable, I don't think you say something like that by accident. I think it means to me that the debt renegotiation is likely either done or well on its way to being done. And so now we're kind of thinking, if that's the case, if that's the case, what does that mean to our trading strategy? What does that mean to the stock price? And so that's what we've been talking about all night. Like, we have certain options plays and we have shares under $3. Some people in our group have shares over $3. What's going to happen to the price? So I think we're thinking, what, Mediocre? When the debt restructuring, well, it depends on how the debt restructuring goes. But if we just forget about that for a second and say that Adam Aaron meant something when he said that, you would think that it could be possibly bullish. But I also think that the dilution might not quite be done yet, and that would suppress any bullish momentum. So how do you weigh that trade-off?
I mean, so for me, the only thing that I could do is just adjust my trading strategy a little bit. So, like, I won't sell options closer to the money. I'll have to move my strike farther out, take less premium, protect my position that way.
Move your strike price higher.
Correct. Yep. And I'll just stop selling puts. It's easier. Like, if I'm trying to accumulate, depends what you're trying to do. if I'm trying to accumulate, which is what I've been doing, is accumulating. But so if you want to continue accumulating, you could sell puts and hope that you get exercised on, right? You hope that you end up with the shares at the end of the week, but there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. You might just end up with the premium, which is nice. It's money. It depends on your strategy. Sometimes it's just easier to buy shares at the market, right? So I just got to look at it, see what we're going to do.
Yeah, don't get this twisted, guys. We're taking some risk. And I'm not giving anybody trading advice. I'm just always trying to tell you what we're doing, because I didn't do a lot of options trading on my AMC position in 2021, 2022, 2023. I did not do any of these strategies that I'm talking to you about. The only thing I ever did right before earnings a couple times was I just bought naked calls like you guys do. You know, you expect a pop, you buy some call options, you make some money. And then the price of the stock always comes back down like it always did. But all these other strategies, you know, as AMC got into this running out of cash and we knew that the price was going to come down due to dilution, and we still love the company. We'd like to see it succeed. We don't want to just walk away. How do we stay in the play, have fun with it? We understand the heck out of this company and how it trades. How do we do that the most profitable way possible, knowing the headwinds that the company was going to face in 2024? So we had to alter our strategy. Now, there are people in our group that, for example, one gentleman has a buttload of GameStop shares, and he's been doing this strategy for years, making a ton of money selling covered calls. And I don't know if he's selling cash secured puts, but I know he's been selling covered calls on his GameStop position. He told me, Tony, it's one of the highest volatility, highest IV plays out there, and the premiums on it have been insane until the last week. The premiums on GameStop just eroded to almost nothing. As the market is finally got to peak at what GameStop's earnings are, there's no more volatility in GameStop. Everybody except a couple people knows it's going down. So the IV really dropped. Although I did see Larry Ching bought 10,000 shares today. So they'll try and rally it tomorrow. Really what we want to see is not executives buying a couple thousand shares. We need to see a strategic change in the business. Put that capital to use. Put the capital to use. All right. Mediocre. We were talking, getting back on subject, we were talking about how the news from Adam might meaningfully affect the price or how we're accumulating the stock. And we're not bearish, guys. Like, we acknowledge there's risk. I want to be very clear to all the bears that are watching. We acknowledge the risk. We look at the damn financials every day. I read through them multiple times every quarter when they come out.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. It's just
we are not and never have been hopium pushers, but we do think that, you know, ultimately, if the box office grows enough, this company can avoid bankruptcy, and that there are some people that are counting it out too early. Will we be right? I don't know. We're not going to know for a year or two. It's still a risky speculative play as long as the company is losing money. But I think we're close to turning the corner on that, you know, by the end of this year. We'll see. So I just want to get that out of the way. We own the stock, we're trading the stock, but we're not oblivious to the risk. So always do your own due diligence, read the financial statements, and watch this channel for some real talk.
I mean, I am surprised by the quote, you know, that was made in the article. That you know, that's interesting the way it's worded. So if that is what he said and it was quoted, I mean, it gives me an answer that I'm looking forward to. You know, to just chill out. I think I'm good at this point. You know, makes me I feel more relaxed, right? I'll feel a little better about my position than I did before, but I have to protect my position, which I do constantly, right? And I'm always looking at what is going to affect my money. My money is what is important. So that's the way I look at it.
Do you want to read Sparky's comment there and see if you have any response to it, Mediocre?
Yeah. So he says if it's $2.95 at the close and you don't want to buy the shares, you likely can buy the $3 puts back at 5 or 6 cents a couple minutes before close. Make your 10 cents, sell the other put again. He is correct. You can always buy back what you sold. If you don't want the shares, you don't have to buy the shares, right? Just, buy the contract back and take the premium, right? If you want to keep the money. That is true.
Matt says, how long do you see the round of dilution lasting? Let me bring up my spreadsheet, Matt. That is a great question. And again, this spreadsheet is just my best guess. Like, we got to start somewhere, right? We can't just be out in the wind listening to random YouTubers telling us it's going to take a year and AMC wants to sell them all at $4 a share. I mean, that is a possibility. It is a possibility. It could take a year and they won't sell them less than $4. That could happen. I don't think that is the case, though. So I am modeling a couple of different scenarios, and I've been sharing that with you guys. Let me pull up the spreadsheet, and I'll put it on the screen for you. Let me move it down to a monitor down here. Again, this is just what we're looking at, our best guess. These are actually two scenarios from recent dilutions. Scenario one is the November dilution, and scenario two is actually more like the September dilution. Scenario one would be they just basically sell 10% of the volume every day is AMC selling. So if the volume was 44 million, AMC sold 4.4 million. And if that were the case, let's see, this is row 17. I need to just update this. If that were the case, then they are 58 million into the dilution. Now, Mediocre, I'm the Cowboy Rodeo. This is my scenario. The Monkey Tamer here, Mediocre, said, Tony, why don't you model if they sold heavy into the first 2 days when the volume was over 40 million? And I said, that's a good idea. And I actually went and looked at the September dilution, and that is exactly what they did. How do I know that? By looking at how long it took and the average price that they sold versus the price on the chart. I could tell that they front-loaded shares on the first couple days. So that's what we assumed here, that the first couple days they front-loaded at a higher price, more shares, and we just picked 50% of the volume. You got to start somewhere. So in that case, they're almost done, $182 million raised, and they will be done by the end of this month. In fact, a little bit more than 182. So this just kind of gives you a couple scenarios to think about. These are things we're watching. I'm curious if we'll be right on one of these, but we'll all find out soon enough. And I am willing to bet money that before the earnings call in May, we will get an announcement from AMC that the dilution is done, that they raised $250 million, that it'll be approximately let's say 70 to 75 million shares at a price of just over $3.
Jersey Recycler.
Huh?
I seen your comment. Jersey Recycler.
Yeah.
I seen your comment. Yeah, we're tracking the volume, as you can see in the spreadsheet. We're watching it every day. Yeah, it has been much lower. Like today was low too.
Yeah, I have modeled 16 or 14 million daily volume, but I have it in italics because that was a guess. The green is actual. The volume's just fallen off, and I don't know if that's because I'm curious what y'all think. I spent a lot of time thinking about this today. Is it because AMC's not willing to lower the price that they're willing to sell at. I mean, if they said, all right, fuck it, sell shares at 240, there'd be people buying them and you'd see a lot of volume, right? But I'm kind of thinking like they're saying, we got 3 weeks still till the end of this month, and we don't need to do that. We don't need to drop the price. Let's just get out some shares at 10, 12, 9 million volume a day. We can still be done by May 5th and raise our 250 million. And we'd prefer to be selling around $3, but I have just my guess. The average price I sold on the 5th was around $3. I have it at $2.99 on Monday and $2.98 today. It looks like, they're losing a little bit of ability to maintain a $3 price, but it's also low volume days. So anyways, I think we're close. I think we might see a little bit of price erosion still this week, just a little bit. And, some of that also matters. I don't look at anything in a vacuum. We got CPI data coming out tomorrow, and whatever the market macros are doing could have some effect on AMC also.
Gia, I believe Cinemark's debt is the same, roughly the same as AMC's. The difference is
no, it's like 2.4 billion.
All right, so it's half.
Yeah.
It's basically half. But they don't have as many theaters, and they got a lot more going for them. They're a smaller company. They're easier to, it's not the same. Then everybody.
Are you answering Anya?
No, Gia.
Anya's asking the same thing. Why didn't the Cinemark upgrade affect AMC? AMC's diluting, to be blunt. Nothing's going to affect the price, Anya, until the dilution's done. But Cinemark is going to be probably lose a couple pennies in Q1, and they're going to make a lot of money in Q2 and Q3. They're profitable at a lower box office than AMC. Same industry, same movies. Because of their smaller size, they are more nimble, more profitable. They have lower debt.
Exactly. I was just going to say that too.
AMC hits its stride when the box office is big. Then you have more theaters bringing in more revenue faster than anybody else. But until you hit that over the hump, AMC is going to look like the loser. And it will be the loser until you get over that 10.1, 10.4 domestic box office hump.
I agree. That's why I pulled that comment. I seen it. I was like, we might as well just answer this again.
Maggie, what's up? Maggie says you're hard to find. Maggie, I'm here all day, every day in Discord. And you are a member of the channel, so you have free access. Anya wants to know what you did with your Palantir, Maggie.
So what are your guys' thought? What's the chat's thought on these
on Adam Aaron's news?
Yeah.
Did y'all know about this news before we started this live stream? I've been hitting Twitter all day trying to check for CinemaCon updates, and then that one just dropped in my lap as we were sitting here having our evening chat about AMC stock. I know everybody asked me, Tony, why are you hang on, popcorn. Tony, why are you so focused on AMC stock when they're losing money? It's not the biggest position in my portfolio, but I probably understand what's going on with AMC and how it's going to trade better than any other stock. Whether that means it's going to trade up or down, I understand now. And every day, week, and month that goes by, we get better at it. Wouldn't you say, Mediocre?
I feel that way, yeah.
And besides that, I would like to see the company succeed. I don't know if they will or not. I'm hopeful they will. I'm an A-list member. I go to movies all the time. I love movies. And so I have a vested interest in seeing them pull through, plus the fact of all of you guys that maybe made different decisions than us over the last couple of years about how you're going to trade it. Maybe you made a different decision before I ever got on the scene. I got on the scene long after most of y'all had bought in to AMC. I didn't even start my YouTube till sometime in July of 2021, and I had like 5 followers till September. So no one heard of me till September. You guys had already bought everything you were going to buy. People want to blame Tony Denaro for making you lose all your money. You were bought in long before me. My goal has been always to just help people understand the facts of this play, the facts and the financials. And it's been a troubled company. We played it for a recovery play. We thought there'd be a second squeeze in 2021. That didn't happen. And now we're just dealing with the fallout. There are still ways to recover whatever losses you had. And Grandpa Barney, listening to our channel, and many other people, Anya, I don't remember, Anya, if you followed some of the DD or not, but Anya's in the Discord. She can tell you there were a lot of people that listened when we said the conversion was going to pass. The judge was not going to rule against AMC, that AMC price would plummet and APE would go up. Now, I can't tell you what to do with your shares. I can only tell you my opinion about what I thought was going to happen. If I'm telling you my opinion, you can make a safe assumption that that's how I'm trading. So the shares that I bought late 2021, because I made a decent amount of money before I started YouTube. I will never be red in this play. I'm playing on the house money in my AMC. But some of that I gave back from 2021 to 2023 until I did that little AMC to APE swap and then rode APE up. And so we're here to continue to make money in this play. We understand it very well. And we'd like to see less people listening to people who don't know what they're talking about, and more people listening to folks who are trying to help you recover whatever you're down. But you're going to need to do some learning. You're going to need to let some trauma go. You're going to need to let some of the hopium go. And at the end of the day, whether you do that or not, know that we are still here pulling for the success of the company. This is not a us versus anybody. We all want the same thing, for this company to succeed. We might have a different outlook on what it's going to take. My outlook is it's going to take profits. Other people's outlook is the market needs to crash or banks need to fail. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm focused on one thing: cash flow, cash balance, profits per share. That was a long rant, Mediocre. What do you think about that?
I think it was well said, actually, to be honest with you. Right? Like, I feel the same way. It's kind of pointless to keep hashing all the stupid stuff, right? And I'm not telling anybody they have to do what I do or listen to me or whatever. Make up your own decisions, right? But for me, I have to trade on what I know is going to be successful, right? Because I'm not willing to lose my money. And that's just the truth. And I'm sorry, right? Some people may be willing to lose their money and their life savings, but I'm not one of them. And I'll do everything in my power to make money and grow my portfolio, because I got 5 wives. Why? Not wives, wives, I got my wife and my 4 kids, and that's just it. So the money I have invested, I want to make sure that they can keep that money, right? It does something good for the family. So for me, that's what it's about. And you may not like what I say or whatever, but it is what it is. I got my 5 whys, and that's what they are.
I've said this before, but it has really pained me watching all of the retail plays, dozens and dozens and dozens of them over the last 3 years. People, I'm going to ride this to zero if I got to and teach those damn hedgies a lesson. The GTII people got a fucking lesson today. BBIG, Troika, Bed Bath & Beyond. The list is endless. People that had the same talking points. We're going to teach them a lesson. I'll write it to zero if I have to. I watched all of them write it to zero. And I hate to see people do that. Now,
we don't want to see that happen to you guys. That's the bottom line.
The reason I talk about AMC, like out of all of those bunches, it's the one that's actually got growing revenue and a chance out of this fucking hole. I know the bears and my haters hate that I talk about this stock, but guys, it's got growing revenue, and 2025 is expected to be even more. Yes, this year's going to suck because of the writer's strike. How bad? I don't know. We'll see. But it's not like all of these other companies. Some of them, like Mullen, have no revenue. Everybody else had massive convertible notes or warrants or declining revenues or no products. It's just ridiculous what people hitch their wagons to. GTII, like they fall for the little siren song of the people on Twitter saying the naked short volume, I predict, based on that, the naked short volume, not the short interest. They don't want to talk about that because there's none. The naked short volume tells me there's 2 billion naked shares. Meanwhile, every year on GTII, they lose more and more money. They've never really booked a revenue. They've never inked one deal. And I just saw that they pulled mediocre like $63 million in executive pay and contributed $16 million to charity on no income. Now, who are they stealing that money from, do you think?
The shareholder.
Exactly. But y'all want to get mad at Adam Aaron. And there's some YouTubers, guys, that will curse Adam Aaron up and down and then go over and make one video a day about GTIIs on our side. Wake the fuck up, people. You got misled by another clown on Twitter. First it was Lou, then it was everybody else. You are championing a company with no revenue. What the fuck are you doing? Well, we just want to teach the shorts a lesson. Great. Pick a company that's making money. Then you might have a chance. Why do you think the shorts, if there are any in the first place, why do you think they're targeting that company? How the heck are you going to win?
Tony, what do you say to the people who right now say that the short interest on AMC is climbing?
It's around 20%, and we know they're diluting. And I get the messages every day, people DMing me, short interest is over 20%. Tony, you said you love a play where the short interest is over 20% because then it's potential for a short squeeze. That is true. I did say that. But I know that Adam is diluting, and this is the same with every company that has ongoing dilution. The share count, outstanding shares, is going to be updated, guys, in a couple weeks. And we're going to go from 260 million to 330. And your short interest is going to drop to 15%. Not the number of shares. Number of shares shorted probably stay the same. But as far as a percentage of the overall float, 15%. It's just a number. I don't really care. I don't really care about the number anymore. I don't care about the number of shares. I don't care about the percentage. What I'm mostly focused on now is the box office, the cash flow, the cash burn, and the profits, because If those things start getting better, these shorts will get out of the way. That is my belief.
I think they're starting to now.
Why would you keep shorting a company that has nothing but green pastures ahead?
Just look at a noisy Corax, right? He said on the show the other day that he's not looking at shorting AMC because why? Because
It's too risky.
It's risky at these levels, exactly. It's in the range where there's value, right? So a short is going to short when a company is overvalued. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the market, is to move the price based on company value. And that's ultimately what's been happening, I think. And it just gets old, I mean, I don't know. It just, if it's trading at $14 and the company doesn't have the box office or anything to support that price, right? And then you got to expect the price to fall, and that's ultimately what's been happening, right? I mean, I was mad when it fell from 12 to where we're at today. I thought it was a $10 stock.
I just want to say thank you to Stephen real quick. He says, thank you for the dilution spreadsheet. Good work does not go unnoticed from our community, but it does get cursed out a lot, Stephen. Not by you. I appreciate that. He says, now give us 2026 $12 billion domestic box office projection. Okay, I said I would give you that before we came on live. Let me pull that up. Mediocre, sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
No, you're good. You're good. I just want everybody to know that Steven's part of the group, and we're very tight with what we discuss, and we discuss the stuff all the time. And it's not only AMC; we discuss other tickers as well. But we have a group of people who take this very, very serious. It's not a joke to us,
And everybody is contributing different thoughts, different DD, challenging each other. This is not a yes club.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to see the company move up. We all want to see it succeed, but we all have varying degrees of reality. Is that a fair way to say it, Mediocre?
Absolutely.
All right, Steven, I'm going to model 12 billion box office with a 32% capture rate on admissions. And I'm not gonna do any decrease in cost. All right, because we don't know what's going to happen with interest rates. We don't know what's going to happen with lease operating costs. So let's just keep everything the same. But maybe we could expect that they'll come down a little bit. I don't know. Depends on the debt restructuring. But if I just leave it the same, Stephen, the net profit for the year would be 423 million. Net. Oh wait, I need to update the share count. Let's say 330 million. $1.28 per share annual earnings. Now, you already know the model I gave you before, verbally, about how you can translate that into a price target, but roughly around 423 million net profit on a 12 billion box office. Now, I don't know if we'll get there, but you wanted the numbers. That's what I got from my spreadsheet. I am Shirwan says, what's happening to the money that investors put in the stock? That's a good question. I am. So generally, guys, when you're trading stocks or bonds, you're trading in as what is called a secondary market. So you're just trading. You're trading with other people. What happens to the money that you put in? It goes in someone else's pocket. You're buying shares. You buy 100 shares. You could be buying them from Mediocre. You could be buying them from Al from Boston. You could be buying them from BlackRock.
That's the thing, guys, too. I want to say this, right? Like a lot of times you'll hear nobody's selling this thing, we're holding. That's not necessarily true, right? I mean, there's day traders out there, and I hold my shares, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of day traders out there that don't, and they just take the momentum trades and they exit. And that happens a lot. And so that's where your money's going. To be totally honest with you guys, that's where it's going.
So generally, whether you're buying shares or bonds, you're buying them in a secondary market. The company is not benefiting from that. However, there are exceptions, like if a company did a bond offering that you were able to participate in a new bond offering, and through a broker, you were able to buy those, and you could potentially, Sparky, correct me if I'm wrong. I see Sparky in the chat. But more commonly for most of you, if the company is actively doing dilution, there's a chance that some of the shares you're buying right now are going straight to AMC's balance sheet. Some portion of the volume every day, some portion of those shares are being sold by AMC. And so your money is going to the company, and you'll see it on the balance sheet in the next, not this earnings statement, but Q2. You'll see it there.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Like, that's the only time that AMC, the company, gets any money out of the stock is during a dilution or some sort of action like that, right? The day-to-day trading is between regular people and institutions and such. AMC doesn't have really a say in that.
Let's break it down to the most simple way I can explain it. Every day, any stock you're trading on a normal day, you're trading with someone else. Whether you're buying or selling, you're paying for future earnings. So if you're buying, you think that the earnings of that company are likely to be higher in the future. So you're willing to pay a higher price and hold for a higher price. If you're selling, typically, again, a very basic explanation, you're thinking that the earnings of the company are likely to decline, therefore the price is going to get eroded. It's really that simple. And you're just trading with another person who has a different mindset than you. Sometimes, yes, people are buying or selling because they need the money for personal finance. I'm not, their household, or they find a better opportunity. But at its most simplest form, I want you to think of what you're buying is future earnings. And the reason AMC and GameStop have been getting obliterated is there is no future earnings. GameStop finally just announced some earnings, and it was a couple pennies. And that's why they're going to continue to get obliterated. The price is overvalued for those paltry earnings until the company announces a strategic initiative that has better earnings. Yes, they've got $1 billion of money in the bank, but it is poor use of capital. Their return on invested capital says that they're just basically wasting that money. It's sitting there not doing anything. So despite what some people are telling you, GameStop is not as much of a slam dunk as you think, because they have $1 billion on the balance sheet. That is not good enough in Wall Street's eyes. You're being tricked by people on YouTube that tell you that's the most important thing. It's not the most important thing. It's an important thing. It's great. That's not what, you can't focus on one thing. Wall Street's looking at 10 things, 20 things. I call it, remember Lou, follow the bouncing ball, but it's more like, look over here. That trick, mediocre?
Yeah.
Look over here at this one thing that's really good. Don't pay attention to that. All that. That's how GameStop is right now. That's what they're selling you on YouTube. Just look at this, guys. It's fantastic. Forget all that.
We hear all the time that we think that a specific stock is worth X amount of money. Just because we believe that doesn't make it true. I'll give an example, right? If I thought Ford was worth $1,000 a share, so I'm willing to buy it at 900, so I can make $1,000 a share, but it's trading at 12. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean it's ever going to get there. What do you think is going to happen to that money? Whoever sold me the shares is going to take that money, right? Because if you enter the order like that, it's going to sell immediately. You know, it's just like I don't know. It's weird. They're gonna take your money. That's what I'm trying to say. It's I don't know if the stock is overvalued, it's going to depreciate in value because of that reason.
But mediocre, if we're all holding, how can it depreciate in value? How can they knock the price down?
Because we're not all holding, Tony. Not everybody holding. And so, all right. So I know what you want to talk about. So, for example, if you want to buy the stock and you don't buy the stock at the ask price, the stock we can have buyers all day long, but if you don't hit the ask, we don't smack the ask, it's not going to push the stock price up. So just if you buy under what the ask is, even though there's buying pressure, the stock price is going to come down. That's just
not only that. If we own 80% of the float and nobody's doing anything except 5% of the people, those other 95% that own the rest of the float, they're just observers to the few people that are trading.
Exactly.
If you own the float and you're holding and you're not actively buying, I'm not telling anybody to buy. I'm just explaining the mechanics. The freaking high-speed traders that are trading millions of shares a day back and forth, they're the ones moving the price direction. You're just an observer as a holder. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you got 320 million shares and only 10 million are available. They can churn through those multiple turns per day and still move the price down. And you couldn't do anything because you're just holding. It's really that simple. It doesn't have to be about naked shorts. But like Mediocre said, there are people selling and there are institutions lending out shares on top of that, increasing the float even more, making even more liquidity of shares. That whole ETF lending, institutional lending, they have a lot of legal ways to push the price down.
If a stock is volatile, traders are going to trade it. If there's movement in the stock, it's going to be traded on a daily basis because there's money to be there. You may be holding it, but people don't care about that. They're there to make money. So they're going to trade it to make money. That's just the truth. And you're not going to stop that from happening.
And in their mind and in their model, even though you don't agree with it, whether it's GameStop, AMC, Tesla, I don't care what the stock is. Once they set their mind that it's overvalued, they're going to keep trading it till it gets to the point where the general Wall Street consensus is, all right, there's not any more money to be made here. Because if I keep pushing it down, that hedge fund over there is going to fuck me over. You know what I'm saying, Mediocre?
Exactly.
They compete with each other. They're all pushing it down, but as soon as it reaches a fair value, they all kind of stop because they know if I keep pushing, my enemy over there is going to screw me.
I got a perfect example of that. There's a video that's out with our friend Kenny in it, right? And Kenny flat out is upset with the SEC. Why? Because he wants to control the price. He thinks that's his right to do it. And I mean, I'll just tell you guys, I believe that there is some corrupt parts of the market. Yes, I don't disagree with you there, right? But what's going to happen to change it is unlikely to happen, in my opinion. You know, and I don't want to see people get wrecked. That's just the truth.
Maggie's asking about Palantir and Oracle. I haven't looked at Oracle recently, Maggie. I have a Palantir chart here. We were talking about it the other night and missing you, Maggie. Anya was wondering what you ever did with your Palantir. And I said then that I need to still do an updated refresh on my Palantir DD and redraw my Fibonacci chart, and I haven't done it yet. But I'll redraw this in the next couple of days and do an updated Palantir DD video, Maggie. But I'm not the type of person to buy something into a big run up like this. I'll wait for a pullback to a recent level. So I was trading it a little bit in here, not a whole lot. And I was really wanting a stronger pullback that I never got. So I need to spend a day and identify my new levels. That's where I'm at. And I haven't looked at Oracle. So no comment on that.
What do you think of Headstock here's comment?
If retail owned 100%,
yeah.
Well,
the problem is you have to get retail to own 100%, and you haven't done that.
Here's why it's never going to happen. Because AMC's in index funds, right? Right, mediocre?
Yes.
And those index funds are going to buy shares to make sure that AMC is represented in that index. So let's say retail doesn't want to sell. Well, what would happen? The price would increase till someone sells. And you're talking literally millions of people. You're not going to have a cohesive unit. There's going to be people that sell.
That's the problem, right? That's why we never truly owned the float. We owned it 80%, I think, but we never owned 100%.
And as soon as institutions get a piece of it, they're going to lend it out and increase the float even more. So it's kind of a pipe dream that you could ever own 100% of the float.
And I know people will tell you DRS, and I don't want to go down this road, but that doesn't
hasn't worked for GameStop. They have probably the highest DRS that anybody's ever heard of, and their price is still getting smacked, and has been for 3 years. So I haven't found it a particularly compelling argument. I still say do it if you want to, but I haven't seen it make a meaningful difference for GameStop.
So, I mean, I'll say this, even if we could prove market corruption, the only way to change it is to change Congress, right? Because they make the laws. They're the ones who put the SEC, the head of the SEC, in to run the SEC, right? It's all done by Congress. And good luck. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not willing to put my money out there and risk it. We could barely get through electing people now, for God's sakes. I mean, I don't know what to say. That's just my thought. I'm not going to risk my money that way.
I think what Sparky's trying to say is what I was alluding to. Like when you have millions of people, everybody has different motivations. Everybody has different profit points. Everybody has different pain points. And I can tell you from being a YouTuber and running a Discord, both, for everybody who tells you no one's leaving, no one's selling, yes, they fucking are. Because I've seen a lot of people leave. Seen a lot of people leave. That you don't hear me saying that. No one's selling, no one's leaving. You never hear me say that. If I do, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, I don't say that anymore either. I used to think that. I did. I'll admit it. You know, I wanted what we were saying to be true, but I mean, I'm not willing to give up my financial stake. That's the problem. You know, I got to take care of my home first.
At any rate, to bring it back to something positive, mediocre, you and I and most of the people we talk to are mostly bullish. Call us crazy. I know The Bears are going to hate me for saying this. The no voters are going to want to sue me for saying this. Guys, nobody fucking pays me. I'm way too unpopular to be paid. What you're hearing is my opinions, my DD, how I'm trading. It's not financial advice for you. We like AMC based on what we know about the finances. We recognize that it's speculative, that there's still risk. The debt hasn't been restructured. Who knows what that news is going to be? It could drive the price up or down. But it's got somewhat of an appeal. We're degenerate gamblers. And we like it. We like it at this sub $3 price. Like as long as it's holding here, $2.90, $3. I like accumulating here. Now, if some news came out tomorrow that there was going to be another dilution, what do you think I would do? Mediocre.
You would sell. I know you would, because I would too. I would exit my position.
Yeah. So for anybody who is saying that we're trying to trick people into selling and bag hold, no, you don't bag hold in front of impending bad news. That's why I sold last week before the dilution, because I had a feeling based on my DD that a dilution announcement was coming. Same thing that I told y'all for a year was going to happen with the reverse split and conversion. Necessary actions. I explained why the company needed to do it. Doesn't mean you need to stand in the way and take it. You can still exit the play. I did. Absolutely necessary, or they would have been bankrupt. They would have been bankrupt multiple times, many times over the last 3 years without the dilution that they'd done. And Sparky, I know you're not a big fan of AMC, so do you agree or disagree with what I'm saying? Sparky, I don't really know how to categorize him. I call him kind of like a fact checker. He's a fact checker. If I say something too bullish, he'll probably call me out on it. But I think anybody who has any sort of accounting training would readily admit that the math clearly shows AMC only avoided multiple Chapter 11s because of the dilution that they've done. As painful as it was for anybody who held through all of it. Sparky says agree. And again, for all you no voters who say, my math says they'd never go bankrupt. Go talk to a CPA, you no voters. Go talk to a CPA, a licensed accountant. Sell him on your case. And if he agrees with you, I want to interview your CPA live. And we will embarrass the fuck out of him. And we will make sure everybody knows his name, his credentials, and how he's trying to explain that this company would not have gone bankrupt. So go find me a CPA. I don't want to hear from your Reddit DD crowd, your little 400 popcorn gang. These people have no idea what they're talking about. But I want to give you a chance. I want to give you a chance because you're convinced on your math. If you think you can find a CPA who's willing to come on live with their real name and their credentials and explain how this company was not going to go bankrupt, I will happily interview them, and I will bring CPAs, and we'll have a great discussion. So far, that invitation's been open for a year. Haven't heard a peep. I just heard people get mad at Adam Aaron.
The thing is the math really does matter. That's the most important thing, right? And if you're not going to do the math, you're not going to know. We do a lot of math, Tony. You know that.
And we do math without an agenda. Like the problem with these no voters is they want to prove embezzlement, fraud, RICO violations. So they create an equation in their head. They've already got a preconceived notion that AMC could have not done dilution and ended the year with $20 million, and that would have been just fine. $20 million was not going to be ever just fine. $20 million on the balance sheet, they would have been bankrupt by forced bankruptcy by the lenders long before that.
Thing. with $20 million, I'm just being realistic here, seriously, okay? I don't know the context of what Tony's talking about, but I'll just say.
The mathematician on the Popcorn Gang says, I presented mathematical proof to the judge. The math doesn't lie. They could have not done bankruptcy and they would have had $20 million left.
If they had $20 million left, I'm going to tell you all what would happen, okay? What would happen is you would have theaters closing. Why? Because they can't pay their fucking employees. That's why. You can't buy fucking soda from Coca-Cola. You can't get your fucking popcorn delivery.
These guys don't understand what working capital is, mediocre. They look at a number at the end of the year. And they also didn't think about the minimum liquidity requirements from the lenders. AMC would have been bankrupt, forced bankruptcy long before they got to 20 million left on the balance sheet.
I understand that, but I was just trying to make it simple for them. The simple math, Tony. I mean, this company spends a lot of money. It has a lot of overhead. We need to generate that money, you guys. And if it's not there on the balance sheet in working capital, it's not going to work. It's not going to mesh. You know, and that's the truth.
Oh, I see Corax. How long have you been sitting down there?
Just a bit. I messaged in the private chat. I'm like, oh, sure, he'll see that.
I did see that. I don't often look. You know, I barely read the chat because so many people are cursing at me. But
okay.
Thank you for joining us, guys.
Yeah,
just so you know, if you haven't been in our live streams, I am doing my absolute best to bring on a balanced viewpoint of guests so that you're not being spoon-fed Kool-Aid. And it doesn't mean that you have to like everything I say. Doesn't mean you have to like everything Corax says. I own AMC. Mediocre owns AMC. Corax does not. We're not all in the same plays. I don't talk to Corax every day. I don't talk to him about plays. I just like that he likes looking into the legal stuff, bankruptcies and things. And I think he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders. And, well, I mean, for the most part, he doesn't insult people. Well, I mean,
usually when if you swing, I'm going to swing back.
Okay. If you swing at him, he's going to swing back. If you swing at me, I'm mostly just going to ignore you because you're a clown. But Corax will swing back. So I guess that's why we get along, Corax, because I don't lash out at you. You know, I'm okay with you having a different opinion, and I actually value your right to express that opinion as long as you can say it in an adult way, and then we can talk about why we disagree. It's these people that move to the name calling and the insulting because they can't actually defend their position. Those people won't ever be on this show, but I guess this is a long way of saying I don't agree with everything Corax says. He doesn't agree with everything I say. You guys aren't going to like everything everybody on this panel says, no matter what. But I want you to have a variety of opinions, and I want you to see people that can talk about things like an adult. That's what I really tried to do that a couple of years ago. Remember that, Mediocre? When we tried to have everybody on?
I do. That's how I ended up kind of getting started. And, I wanted
that didn't end so well.
It was,
we found out a lot of people are crazy.
Oh, God.
Had too many nuts in the party bowl.
Huh?
Had too many nuts in the party bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while, but if you talk to someone long enough, they'll expose their crazy, Corax.
I found that out a lot on Twitter.
Twitter's a good spot for that, to be honest. It's oh my God. Clark, yes, Tony actually did speak to Massalorian. I'll let him tell you about it.
Yeah, I talked to him last night as I was coming home from Civil War. And he said he's going to try and he's settled in whatever state he's in up there in the Northeast. He settled in. He said his goal was to get his documentary out by this weekend. And he hoped to be ready to start doing live streams back with us starting maybe this weekend or early next week.
So confirmed, not tied up in Mediocre's basement.
Yeah, he's not in Mediocre's basement. He's not in a jail in the Dominican Republic, and he did not get held by the Canadian police. Miguel says, "Is AMC going to squeeze in your opinion?" Miguel, I only talk about stocks that have over 20% short interest as potential squeeze candidates. AMC has 20% now, but not really because of the ongoing dilution. So it's not at my criteria to talk about that right now. After the dilution's done, it'll be around 15%. Correct. What's going on in your world? And then I'll take a couple more of y'all's questions.
Not a whole lot. After that screen cap he sent me, I was finally able to find Donahue's lawsuit on Pacer. So I was skimming over that and everything.
So Donahue George, I think I just spit out some popcorn. Donahue's suing Ken Griffin, right?
He's suing a whole slate of people.
I just saw him tweet that he wants people to write letters and tell Judge how they feel. But I was a little confused by that because I thought that evidence was required to launch a case. Like, are we going? Is this the court of feelings that he's going into, or is it a federal court?
It's a federal court.
Oh man! So what are the letters going to do?
Nothing. In fact, they'll go straight into the shredder. Well, they might get produced on the docket like they did in the Delaware Court of Chancery case, but they might they're probably not going to do anything, actually.
So it's a historical lexicon, evidence.
Yeah.
That means nothing.
Preserving people's outrage for posterity.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make light of it. It's just, guys, if you're going to court, you actually have to have evidence. Mm-hmm. And a letter writing campaign, while it might make people feel like they're doing something, it's about as useful as a petition to ask the board of AMC to quit.
I will say, for how weak, now I've only cursory looked at the amended complaint. So I don't know for sure. And I haven't seen any motions to dismiss on it. Those may still be pending. But the way it sounds like from cursory reading the docket, this may go to trial. They have a trial date scheduled, but that doesn't mean that it will go to trial. It could be resolved before. Can
I just add in for posterity?
Mm-hmm.
I encourage all of y'all to write letters. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from writing. Tony he's trying to sabotage the case. He doesn't want you writing letters. No, write your letters, please. I hope all of y'all do. I'm just saying,
not to do anything.
Don't be upset when nothing happens, because nothing's going to happen. But please write your letters. Pam the Trader in the house. What's going on, Pamela? Pam says she
How are you, Pam?
Mandalorian last night. All right.
What you guys feeling about CPI tomorrow?
Actually, I'm actually kind of hoping it doesn't go up. I'm hoping it just stays the same. Let's not raise or lower.
My feelings on it is that, oil's been going up. Oil is a component of the CPI. I think it has nothing to do with actual inflation, actual monetary growth. It'll have everything to do with price increase. That's the big problem when you look at CPI is a price index, which could be correlated to inflation, but also prices can go up independent of inflation. So I think it's going to go up because of the input from oil going up. I don't know by how much, but if it does go up, you could see a bit of a red day tomorrow. I don't know how the market's going to respond to it, but I would expect CPI to be up. Not a whole lot, but up.
I'm okay with a red day tomorrow because it'll help with overcome this.
It'll help with your AMC options trading.
I want more of that premium bleed out.
Were you here when we were talking about our options trading strategy?
No.
Were you listening in?
No, I happened to just get your link a few minutes ago and went, oops, sorry.
Oh, yeah. So, we have $3 cash secured puts and $3 covered calls. So we're hoping it ends up like at 298 on Friday.
Sounds like a plan.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, the only thing I
It's
don't
interesting,
like,
though, how CPI data and stuff like that, it controls the overall market, but a lot of people don't even recognize that, you know? And I'm glad that we actually are talking about it because that does move the market.
yeah,
And when the market moves, all equities in the market move for the most part.
yeah. And there's a bunch of different like indicator things that move the markets that people don't normally look at. Like sometimes you'll see a lot when there's a big TLT rally, markets are down. Well, that's because people are dumping their stocks to buy bonds. Or if DXY rallies, that's a big one. It's like I've seen a bunch of people on social media who will get on the twatter and be like, oh my God, corruption, everything, stocks are going down. That's like, well, yeah, DXY went up, which means the value of the dollar went up. So things priced in dollars go down because the dollars were
what DXY is, because some people don't even know, I'm sure.
Is a composite index. It's basically a group basket of a bunch of different foreign currencies weighted against the dollar, and it heavily leans towards both the yen and towards the euro. So those have the biggest outsized effect on DXY, but it's basically tries to index the dollar versus the rest of the world currencies. So if DXY goes up, less dollars in circulation, value of other currencies related to the dollar go down.
Correct. Did you see the headline or my video tonight about Adam Aaron saying Chapter 11 for AMC is inconceivable? His words.
No, I haven't yet, but I mean, given the amount of cash they have on the balance sheet, and if they can keep paying down debt and taking care of that, it doesn't seem highly likely at this stage.
Not in 2024, at least.
Yeah.
And 2025 looks better. So I brought that up to segue into Carlos's comment about Hycroft. I watched Ms. Diane Garrett, CEO of Hycroft, live this morning in Zurich doing a presentation at the Gold Forum. And she did the normal, what do you call it? Dog and pony show.
Mm-hmm.
We have this resource. We got that resource. It's open. Great. We know about all that. But the most, and Hycroft has a lot of gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
Great potential. But I need to see the pre-feasibility study. I need to see what it's going to cost. And I actually published in my Discord, guys, if those of you that are in it, if you didn't see it, if you're wondering what a pre-feasibility study is and what it looks like, I published one from the most recent mine Ms. Garrett worked at. It's hundreds of pages. I pointed out to you the chapters that are the most important, that I'm going to be looking at, the economic viability. But there's also maps. There's workflow drawings showing every machine they're going to need, every truck, every ball mill, every conveyor, the cost of each, the labor, the camps to build the new facility. I mean, because this was one up in Canada. It's a massive document. But getting down to the economic viability, that's really, what does the price of gold and silver need to be for Hycroft to be profitable? That's where I'm going to jump to when that drops. Ms. Garrett is promising us later this year we will get that. And so we'll find out maybe later this year if Hycroft is going to be a go or not. But she said something interesting, something new today that I haven't heard her say. At the very end of her interview, the presenter, the host, asked her, what's the deal with Hycroft? Like, are you guys going to actually mine, or do you have a different exit strategy? And she said, well, we are going to continue on our plan to de-risk the project. That means get debt off the balance sheet, explore, make sure you have all the resources known, have a good plan. And she said we will continue to look at every opportunity that could provide shareholder value. I think she might have alluded before, maybe we'll sell to somebody like Haley Goldmine did in, I think, South Carolina, is it? Maybe there will be a buyer for Highcroft.
I mean, if you have a small operation and you got a big boy that maybe with gold going up looking for a possible thing, if you have a feasibility study and say, look, we can't afford to do this if we sell it to you. We
have proven resources. We can't really go tap the market for more money, but if you want to buy it, here you go. So yeah, that is a possibility, guys. It always is a possibility that Highcroft could be sold, but what I can't tell you is if it's trading at $3, I can't tell you what is it going to be sold at. If it were sold, what's the market cap of Highcroft's? What, like 68 million right now?
So
if it were sold for 5 times that, if it were sold for 2 times the market cap, I don't know what it's going to be sold for. If it were sold,
you can't really guess until you get an idea on that feasibility study.
Yeah. So I know there's wild expectations, and I hope as an AMC shareholder, because AMC will benefit if Highcroft goes up, I hope that if it's sold, that it's at a premium to whatever the current price is, but I just can't promise you that. Other people will, though. Other people will. Fear not.
So Tony Treetop says, so Highcroft is going to make popcorn now?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
I like that comment.
I would love to see a pre-feasibility study from Highcroft that shows that, they have a good internal rate of return forecast and they got all the permits and, they can be up and running in 2 years. Because make no mistake, they're going to need to build the milling plant. That's going to be permitting, pouring concrete, ordering machines, installing them, yada, yada, yada. It's not like Highcroft's going to be mining starting tomorrow, end of this year. You're still a couple of years away. Remember, Adam said 7-year plan. But you could have a quicker exit on your Highcroft play if they sell it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, just by what you said, she said, it sounds like it, because having been in a couple of these plays where I bought in at a cheap company that was about to have their turnaround or was in their turnaround moment, once they start saying we're seeking business opportunities or like what you alluded to, it sounds like it's at least being explored at the very least.
The other thing that she said is, here was the kind of more troubling thing that she said as she wrapped up her pitch before the questions start. She said, our biggest investors are Eric Sprott and AMC. And yes, we do have debt on the balance sheet, but we're actively working to take care of that. And we'll talk more about that soon. I was like, oh, shit.
You know what that means, Tony?
I know what it means to me.
You think I know what it means, Tony?
Corax, you're the bad guy in this chat. Do you want to say what it means?
I mean, they just got done doing a reverse split recently. They're up back at $3. It sounds like a perfect time to go tap the equity markets.
Bingo.
Shit.
And they have a filed shelf offering.
Oh, there you go. Double bingo.
At least you said it in a nice way. You didn't say
tap the equity markets.
It's
not like a blood transfusion more than
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, and I don't know for sure what's going to happen. Look, they could get a buyout. They could say we found, a massive additional gold vein. Anything could happen, but knowing what we know now with no access to new information, the highest probability outcome I see in the near-term future for Highcroft is more dilution.
There's the D word. Fucking Tony.
It happens with a lot of these junior miners, like some of the ones that I had been looking at that I had puts on during the heyday back in 2021, 2022, dilution is the solution while you're trying to get the resource together, explore, do everything, because you have no income streams.
Right. And
So
here's even more troubling, because I haven't done a whole lot of junior mining investing. I mean, I'm figuring out as I go with Hycroft, but I guarantee you I know more about Hycroft than 90% of people talking about it on social media.
But Tony, can I ask you a question though about what she said? Is that in writing that she said that?
It's on video. I mean, I linked it in Discord.
So I mean, she gave you all a heads up. I mean, if you use your noggin, I would say that
It's been in every 10Q, mediocre, just like AMC disclosed everything that happened in the last 3 years. Everything that is going to happen to Hycroft has already been disclosed.
No,
wow, you mean that they give you a heads up if you read the filings and everything?
Everything that is going to happen, everything that is about to happen to you in Hycroft has already been disclosed if you're reading the filings. That's why I cover them in my quarterly videos. And I only do them once a quarter because people can only take so much bad news. But
I'm just a bad news train. I like to get it over with.
I want Hycroft to succeed. I'm just being a realist. Like they're going. What was I going to say?
I don't know. I really
Shelf offering.
I apologize.
Her last job, because she likes to talk about Romarco, the one that owned the Haley gold mine that got bought out by Ocean somebody or other. She never talks about Nickel Shaw. Not Casey Shaw, Nickel Shaw. It's another mine up there in Canada. She never talks about that, but she worked at that mine, which is a platinum, nickel, and copper mine, if I recall correctly. And they were in the pre-feasibility study exploration phase when she was there for multiple years. And she left to come to, she had success at Romarco. She went to Nickel Shaw, worked on exploration, and got plucked away to come help out Hycroft. Nickel Shaw replaced her with someone else, and they've still been plugging away. So I caught up on what's going on at Nickel Shaw. They did finally publish a pre-feasibility study, and that is the one that I linked in my Discord today. And it is as someone that, I've got a manufacturing and engineering background. I know my degree is in economics and finance, but I never worked as a CPA. I never worked on Wall Street. I got in high tech, and I did manufacturing, product design, engineering, factories all around the world. To read this document of how they're plan out this mine to the nth degree is just fascinating, geeky shit for me. I was like, wow, this is fucking impressive. They have every employee. They got the fucking latrines, the tents that they're going to live in, the kilowatt hours they're going to need. I mean, it is unbelievable. Someone put in a lot of work on these pre-feasibility studies. Some geeky shit for someone like me. Even after they publish that pre-feasibility study, they still have to do permitting up there in Canada. So they're stuck in that. This freaking stock, guys, I don't even want to tell you. It's at a penny.
Oof.
It's at a penny. When Miss Diane was there, it was at 18 cents. And I'm not saying that's her fault. They made it all the way to the pre-feasibility study. I think they have a good return on the project. They're just a couple years away from mining because they got to do all this construction. So that was like a sobering moment for me. Like, what if Hycroft gets in a 2-year delay for construction? It could drop back to $1. It could drop to 10 cents. I don't effing know. That's why I call it a speculative play. I'm just telling you, go read some pre-feasibility studies and look at other projects. Get educated before you make assumptions at Hycroft. I'm not the expert on mining. Likely you are not either. So careful who you're listening to, and make sure you do your own due diligence.
But she said that they were going to need some money or something.
Yeah, well, here's where I was going to end that very long story. with Nichols Shaw. The last 3 press releases they did were private placement equity raises. They can't raise money in the equity market, right? They can't.
So they have
going
to
buy it.
go.
They're going private placement. So even though they've done the pre-feasibility study, they're still diluting shareholders while they're building this thing out. So all I'm saying is, like, that's, as a generally risk averse investor, I like gambling, guys, but I also like to know what I'm getting into, and I size my risk. Hycroft scares me. I'm just going to say that's why I don't own any. And if it comes out that the news is great and it starts shooting up, it takes me 5 seconds to buy in.
Yep. It takes 3 clicks from Fidelity Trader Pro.
I got my alert set. I got my alert set. I could always buy in. In fact,
that's
the
thing is like thorough research. Like, I know I look at a bunch of stocks before I choose one. It doesn't take that long to get into it. There's a million different plays out there. Don't worry if you miss one. Make sure you do your homework. Make sure you size appropriately. All the safe stuff to make sure that you don't end up getting hustled in the end.
Anya says, but they have an excellent safety record. She starts off every meeting like, I'm Diane Garrett, and I'd like to let y'all know that we are so proud of our 100% safety record.
Well, when you have no operations.
Right. That's
thinking the same thing.
That's the inside joke.
Yep.
Carlos says Hycroft was founded in 2017. See, Carlos, this is an unfortunate, incorrect fact. Go read up on the history of Hycroft, please. Good night, Maggie. Thank you for joining in.
Good night, Maggie.
Ron says, when are you going to play the drinking bingo game? Corax and I were talking about, well, I was suggesting we should do a GameStop bingo drinking game.
Oh, no. Is that going to be Tux night?
No, on the earnings, that last earnings, when you showed me a bingo card.
Oh,
I was like,
that bingo card. Okay.
Yeah, you showed me a bingo card, and I had it in my head like we should do a drinking game but I knew based on the bingo card we were going to be fucked up. Because that was not a bullish bingo card, and I was.
Oh no, it was not.
I was not bullish on GameStop. I mean, I held it all the way.
I bet you know where I found that bingo card. You know exactly what.
I don't know who made it, but I can guess where you found it. Yeah, I mean, give us a good topic. I'm happy. I haven't been drinking a lot lately, but I'm happy to. If it's entertaining to y'all.
Both of you saw I finally found the beer I was talking about last time. So I like a good crisp summer beer. I don't want heavy beers in the middle of the heat of summer.
These are pretty good. I like these.
I've seen those at the store, the Shock Top.
I am drinking a Texas brew. It's called Real Heavy Scotch Ale. Made in Blanco, Texas, or Blanco if you're Spanish. Joe says, how can I join your Discord? It's a secret, Joe. People like to shit on me if I advertise. I'm not a grifter, so I'm not going to tell you. You have to figure it out. Maybe somebody in the comments could help you. I'm not here to sell. I'm not here to sell Discords. We only want non-hopium people that actually want to be in a community of like-minded folks to share discussions. We're not here giving trading signals. I'm not going to tell you how to get rich on Tesla options. We do discuss plays, but not like all this other bullshit you see out there.
Yeah, we don't do that shit. We talk
and
about.
I have no coffee mugs to sell either. Sorry.
Fuck! I need a coffee mug, Tony. What the fuck?
Coming up in Halloween, I will have some cowboy clown masks.
I do have.
I have some cowboy clown masks available.
I do have coffee mugs, but like I think I'm gonna have to roll out the new coffee mug, given given the live stream I saw yesterday, Morant's Tears coffee mug.
Hey, for the dummies, can you explain? And by dummies, I don't mean anybody watching right now except one. Can you explain what the trench coat and the hat is? Because I know there's a theme to that.
Yes, there is. If you look at my,
are you just don't have any clean clothes to wear or what?
Look, I regularly wash these, so, but no, like if you look at my YouTube icon, you got the Raven with the, well, he doesn't have a hat, he has headphones, and then the trench coat and the tie and the shirt.
So that is your
Trilby,
that is your channel identity.
Yeah.
So just so we're clear.
I like the gumshoe detective vibe.
So just so we're clear, he does have clothes, clean clothes on under that. That is his channel identity.
And for the record, this is a trilby. The brim in the back arcs back up. That's a trilby, not a fedora, you jackasses.
Now, Mediocre, there was a little bit of misinformation put out about you a couple of days ago that someone said you're not allowed to talk about GameStop because you're not a gamer. Clearly you're not, because your channel icon is an ape. So apparently you're only an ape.
Wait a second. You mean to tell me, Tony, that this logo that everybody can see right
here? Clearly by that icon, Mediocre, you only fuck with AMC.
That's an ape right there?
Well, I mean,
anybody who's a gamer would know that this image is from GTA 5. As you can see, the Ferris wheel in the background there.
Wait, so you're FUD busting? You actually are a gamer?
Oh, absolutely.
How hard is that skin to get, Mediocre?
Oh, that mask?
Yeah.
Oh, that monkey mask. You can't even get that mask anymore, Tony.
Oh, so maybe someone who's not really a very good gamer wouldn't even know about it?
Exactly.
That's why they didn't recognize you actually are a gamer?
Most likely, I would say that's probably why they didn't recognize that.
Mediocre, I hereby give you 100% authorization to talk about GameStop. You're clearly a gamer.
Thank you, Tony. I really don't have much to say about GameStop, but Mr. Tux can say whatever he wants. I don't really give a shit.
He got really worked up about you in that stream.
Hey, listen, I'm the captain now, okay?
Well, Mr. OG troll over there really doesn't like it when you rub that shit back in his face.
Oh boy.
Tater Tot says, Tony, you are the #2 stock squeeze specialist. Yes, I have the certificate in my office back there to prove it.
I just want to say that I was in the presence of both of the short squeeze specialists.
You have known both #1 and #2, right?
That's right. I'm good. I've been lucky, man. I've been around the short squeeze specialists. Holy smokes.
Long story, guys, about that. Those of y'all that have been around for a few years know that story.
Doc Zeno, man.
Corax, one day we'll fill you in. It's
okay.
It involves a lot of drama, intrigue, murder.
Oh, murder!
I'm not even being sarcastic.
Nice.
Now, are we talking about actual murder or like a murder?
Actual murder.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
What else does it involve? Embezzlement.
Yeah, embezzlement.
Man,
felonies, jail. The intrigue.
You working on a.
You name it, this story's got it all.
The #1 short squeeze specialist went down in a flaming heap of shit. Leaving me as the sole surviving short squeeze specialist.
Your winner and the new undefeated, undisputed, reigning short squeeze champion.
Holy fuck, man. The good old days.
You missed a lot. Not hanging with the AMC crowd, making fun of us in 2021, Corex.
I used to sit there and cringe every fucking day. Every day.
There's some parts of it that like I catch up on and I just go like, that happened. And then there's some parts of it that's like, how are these people not in jail? And it's never somewhere in between. It's one or the other. Cringe or prison, which would you like?
Actually, what's funny is Jeffrey Roca is in the chat. He knows all about that whole story. How are
Hey,
you tonight,
Jeffrey, how you doing, huh? Hey, well, good morning. Welcome to the server. Yeah, let's get this chat going, huh? Oh, look at all the ladies coming in the chat. Hang on, Jeffrey, hang on. I need to get the... Christopher's going to send you an email. Just be sure and click on it. It's totally safe, Jeffrey.
Oh, fuck me, dude.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny, but it's not funny because so many people got hurt.
Yeah. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Jeffrey says, manhandling for gold.
Listen, Tony. All I gotta say is he knew his shit about dividends. I can't do it, dude. I can't do it. He knew how to work that fucking 1 minute time frame too.
What the hell is Spider Claude saying? Tony is slick. He is pumping the beer he's drinking now, and he bought earlier. What the fuck?
you bought into the alcohol company, and now you're pimping it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's I forgot to say the Lou, not sponsored. No, I've never been paid by anybody, guys. Nobody. Never, not one time. My wife was like, I wish you got paid by somebody. You're out there
I've
working.
already looked at the content of my channel and know that I'm not getting any sponsorships anytime soon.
No sponsorship? You mean Momo didn't contact you?
I love when the conspiracy theorists say, like, look, guys, I get these emails all the time. I know that Tony Denaro and Mediocre, they're getting paid because I get the emails. Like, you dipshit. They're gonna pay you like $1 if you get a sign up for Moo. That's not getting paid, and you never have once ever heard me pitch that bullshit. Anyways,
exactly.
Yeah. Look, with how much I cuss every other video on that channel, I probably can't even get Raid Shadow Legends to sponsor me.
Speaking of not getting paid, I'm going to light up a cigar because we had some pink-pantied Nimrod get his feelings hurt. He said, you can't listen to Tony Denaro. You can only listen to my favorite YouTuber because Tony was smoking a pipe.
Well, first of all, it's not a pipe.
First of all, check your goggles there, Mr. Bojangles, or whatever the fuck your name was.
The prescription on those glasses.
Oh, shit.
En inglés se llama un cigar. Okay? Es un cigar. No es un pipa. Or whatever the fuck I forget how you say pipe. Anyways, it's called a cigar. It's what a grown man smokes. And if you're that easily offended, don't stick around for when I break out the whiskey.
It's funny that you say that because I sent him a fucking message that says, if you're offended because he's smoking cigars, you better not stick around because he drinks vodka.
I will never be monetized, with a sponsor because I smoke cigars and drink.
Yeah.
So I just got to be happy with my pennies per view and the occasional super chat, but I barely even get those anymore since Grandpa Barney never comes around. Yeah.
Adam Aaron.
Adam Aaron. That's another
Sugar
inside.
Daddy.
That's another inside joke.
That's how they send the payments, so they're untraceable.
Yeah, these dipshits think Grandpa Barney's Adam Aaron. We talk to Grandpa Barney every day on camera. I'd love to see one of y'all bet him $1,000 to show his ID because he would gladly like to take your money.
You know, they would say that it's just Photoshop.
Oh yeah, or there's multiple Grandpa Barney identities, so you can't believe him.
It's a really intricate scheme.
Yeah, the whole when you're arguing with flat earthers / AMC no voters.
On the phone.
When you're arguing with flat earthers / AMC no voters, there is never any evidence that is adequate to them. So, unfortunately,
I'm going to tell you guys why Grandpa Barney doesn't super chat anybody anymore. I'm going to tell you that the real reason. You guys really want to know why? Because why would he super chat somebody that's giving him bullshit information? That's the real fucking reason.
And in reality, he doesn't get his payments from Uncle Barney. He gets it from behind the bush on the grassy knoll. Get your facts straight.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get a couple $100 from YouTube every month. You can go check Social Blade if you want to know how much I'm making off of YouTube. Socialblade.com. Well, but I don't know. We were talking about sponsors because of that ninny that came in and was mad that I was smoking a pipe. Dude, I mean, if that's the best you got, don't trust Tony because he's smoking a pipe. You're way late to the game. I've taken cannon shots straight to the stomach worse than that. It's like he's like, let me see if I can offend Tony. Carlos, that's what you did. You're like,
I sent him a message, Corax. I said, listen, if you're going to fucking address him by the right fuck his name. His name is Tony the Clown Cowboy. You know? And
Well,
I forget what else I said. I said something else, but.
Well, look, after the spanking he took for me on Sunday, the only way he can address me is daddy.
Oh, and now y'all are going a different direction. We weren't talking about a YouTuber. We were talking about some dipshit in my comments today.
I know. See, I have a theory about who the party involved is on that. So.
Oh, you think it was a YouTuber? Okay. Maybe.
Well, whatever.
Whatever. You're going to have to try pretty hard I get dozens of bullshit comments a day. I just read them, block, move on.
Yep.
I like reading them because it's funny as shit.
It's funny.
I'll screenshot them and send them to people so they can laugh at the dipshit and then I'll block them.
It's funny how tryhard some of these people in the comment section are.
Anywho.
Sometimes I just look for the ridiculous comments just so I can, get a good chuckle out of.
I think I might do that thing like they do on TV where I read the mean chats.
Oh, yeah. You get the hate mail.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
The problem is you got to have some good quality hate mail to do that.
Oh, I get no shortage of it. I'm sure you do too, but yours is only coming from one person.
I get a couple in there. There was one when I dropped the first day hearing of the Joanne bankruptcy, and someone posted in the comments saying, "Oh, I can't believe one of these shills has their comments open." And the only reason you think that is because all the scam artists who lock down their comments section. Anyway.
I think most of the people like on your team, I know you're not a team, Corex, but like most of the people that you interact with that are against bad information, they all have their comments open.
Yeah. The only people
it's the other people. It's the people putting out the misinformation that then what's that one? The dancer in MMTLP. He puts out the daily messages on Twitter. Make sure you block these 5 people today. They're known shills.
Yep. Oh, so you noticed that the MMTLP crowd is circling their suppressive persons lists around.
We call it circling the wagons. Protect the cult at all costs.
Yeah, that cult stuff is spreading.
I've watched the documentary Going Clear about Scientology. So anytime I see those, like you said, circling the wagons, block these people posts, I just call it a suppressive persons list because that's what it is.
Guys, I'm on your side as a retail investor. I'm just a retail investor, just like you. Nobody fucking pays me. We're trying to make money just like you. But if you are interacting with someone that's telling you a group of people to block,
you're in a cult.
Then you should probably run away from that person. There's no reason you shouldn't have access to information. You might not like it. You can choose to block it. You can choose to mute it. You can choose to investigate it. But the only thing I don't understand, Corax, from like your group of people is why some of them feel the need to incessantly, maybe they're just sadistic personalities, like they like dunking on people, but why dunking on these poor people all day, every day? That'd be my question. I know you're going to say the same thing. Why do y'all pump all day, every day?
I mean, for some of them, yeah. But
Right.
like,
I get it.
most of
I'm
the ones
trying to
that
be
are-
fair. I know
Yeah.
what you're dealing with. And you guys mostly put out factual information, and then
Mhm.
you get doxxed, you get called every name in the book, and it gets really ugly. So of course you're going to push back. I get it, but I'm just going to give you a chance to defend yourself here in your own
I
words
would
for a
say
second.
that covered most of it, but I think there are a certain amount of people that they've reached the point where they've tried helping people, and the people that can be helped have been helped. I mean, we're 3 years into this stuff. So by year 3 and you're getting this constant jaw jacking, no one's listening, they're still doing the same thing, and the people that mostly are going to be helped have been helped. At this point, it's just wedging the little silly kid in the bathroom just to wedgie him, because
At this point, you're not going to change any minds really
Mhm.
on any of these plays. I mean, they made their decision a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's true, Tony. I think we've been making headway, to be honest.
Well, that's
Well-
why I keep trying. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some people that I will definitely rubberneck the car crash and point and laugh and go, "You're an idiot for sticking in this long, and now you're in bankruptcy, and now you're getting screwed." But I try really, really hard to put that until like I've done literally every step to try and get them to understand what's going on here.
Yeah. I guess I get it. I mean, I'll never be someone to laugh at people losing money. I know I laughed that one time. Your friend Manuel asked me, Tony, why were you celebrating the day of the judge's decision? And then why did you delete that video? It was, we weren't celebrating that people were losing money.
We were celebrating. We were right.
We were right. And we had
Yeah.
been taking fucking 1 million arrows a day for a year.
And I think the reason
threatened, by Ethan and all those people. And we knew we were right. So I was celebrating being right. And that's why I deleted it, because it was kind of like in poor taste. Like, people lost money.
It's like
and
that
they're going to
moment.
twist it that I was celebrating the wrong thing.
It's like that moment in The Big Short where after they put in the Cornwall Capital Boys put in their reverse swaps and they're celebrating there in the casino, and the guy grabs it's like, what are you fucking doing? We're celebrating the economic destruction of people, and they're like, dude, we're making money. It's like, did you realize that when the unemployment rolls go up, all this happens? It's just don't laugh.
Yeah,
Don't celebrate.
in the moment that evening, I was celebrating, but I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, this isn't that. No one's going to understand what we were celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tony, I'm thinking about doing like a series of videos, taking a small account and making a couple $1,000 with it. Right now, I got an account with 400 shares or 100 shares at like $450. Is what I got invested in it. So thinking about doing something, get it to like $3,000. Just kind of walk people through what I do. But I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm thinking about it.
We're going to have to wrap this up soon, because I've got the third warning.
Strike 3. You're about to be out.
What time do we start? Mediocre 9:30.
Yeah.
And I said 1 hour, and it's 11:30. So
It always starts like that with a live stream. Just 1 hour, 2 hours.
I mean, I could
3.
sit here and go for another hour easy, but she wants to hang out, and
That's fine.
I want to hang out too. And I've been sitting here working at this desk for the most part, other than running and doing a couple errands when the market closed. I've been here since. Okay. I've been sitting here working since, what time did we start this morning, Mediocre?
I was late. I don't know.
Always do.
I sold options on Monday.
I woke up a little bit later than normal. I think I woke up at 7 and I was in here at my desk by 8.
Yeah.
I keep on, I have this feeling that 8Ks are going to drop soon. Having to do with the debt restructuring. So I keep on I want to be up and watching my computer by 8 a.m. and then I'll watch it for 3 hours after.
I'm that way recently for different reasons. A, I've been doing better about getting to bed on time. And B, when you have, like, given they're not a huge part of my portfolio, but even if you have small short positions, you want to be there when the market opens in case something goes sideways. So you can go and close.
Right.
Isn't it annoying how the market's only open from like 9:30 to 4, but you know, you spend all fucking day doing due diligence.
Yeah, that's what my weekends are. That was what last week was. That's why I only had 2 live streams, not counting the football one, was because that whole time was just me going, all right, time to reorganize my watch list, see what's going on here with this. Do I want to buy into that? Takes a lot of homework.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you for spending your evening with me and my 2 friends. That's a joke. You know, none of us have friends.
Exactly.
When I have had guests on here, guess who makes fun of them?
I'm just a keyboard warrior.
I've had friends on here, other friends, real life friends, and even when I have friends on, the same dipshit makes fun of them. So there's just no winning with these flat earthers, these goofballs. I mean, come to Texas. I'll introduce you to 100 friends. We'll go out dancing and have some fun.
Square dance time.
Good night,
Not square dance. I don't do square dance. We do real couples dancing, 2-step waltz, 1-step
waltz. Nice. I could play a waltz while you dance.
The country waltz it's actually a pretty elegant dance, and it's fun. We do 2-step, 1-step waltz, and there's one other one, which the place we go to plays some line dancing during the breaks, but it's not my thing. Line dancing is not really super popular in Texas. That's outside of Texas. Anyhow, yes, we have plenty of real life friends. But it is, you know, it's a weeknight, and I don't like to drink and drive. So we sit here and have a beer, and we got to be up early in the morning. What else? Everybody in the audience, thank you tonight for tuning in, hanging out with us, asking some great questions. Everybody that's a member of the channel with your name in bold there with the badge, Pam as a mod, Anya as a mod. Thank you to all of you. I don't do a lot of pitches. This is the 5 seconds where I say, if you want to support the channel and the work that we do here, there is a join button. If you're on a desktop on YouTube, I have like a $2.99 just getting started. $5 is the entry level that gets you in the Discord. And that money goes to pay for all the tools that I use to bring you this work. So if you find what I'm doing useful and you want to support it, great. If not, it's still going to be free. Still going to be here every day. Not trying to sell you anything. And I'll let Corax and Mediocre tell us their YouTube channels or their Twitters, whatever you guys want to say, and then we'll sign off. I forgot to play the Corax intro too, by the way. I put a lot of work in that. I'm gonna play that real quick.
Do it.
I like it.
All right. That'll be your outro for today.
Yeah. Like it says down the bottom, Noisy Corax on YouTube, on Twitter. It is Sunny Corax. And if you want to join us for the next XFL game, that'll be, I believe it's actually Sunday this week, but we're taking on San Antonio.
So you're going to live stream play-by-play of the XFL game, right? That's what you do on weekends?
The UFL, yeah.
Oh, UFL, okay.
Yeah, UFL. The XFL and the USFL merged into the UFL. So it's one league now. So we will be covering every Battlehawks game this weekend, 10 weeks, and if they make the playoffs. Tony is going to be kindly joining us for the Houston game, as that should be fun. We'll make a drinking game or something.
Yeah, we got to have a drinking game because Otherwise, I'll probably be pretty boring. Michael says, are any more stocks are a buy which have a dip? We talk about a lot of them every day, Michael. We're out of time tonight. As far when I say we talk about them on our Discord voice chats, we're talking about plays all the time. But the next good one that I have that I identify myself, I posted a couple of ideas in Discord today. When I have time, look, a 5-minute video takes me 3 hours to make.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not joking. To get all of the information, I could go Donahue George style and just turn on the camera and say whatever's on my mind, and it doesn't mean anything. I could put out 10 of those a day, no problem. But I actually put work and research and due diligence into my videos. So when I have time to, and I have a good one for you, I will put a video out. I have a long list. I just don't have a lot of time. And even when I do, putting in 3 hours of my time for 400 people to watch it, it's not really worth it. So the Discord audience gets it because they're supporting the channel. The rest of you, when I have time, I'll tell you about it. I'm not trying to penalize anybody. It's just like I only have so many hours in the day. It's just being real.
Yep. When we all can just do YouTube as the core job, then we'll pump out all the heavily edited videos, heavily researched.
Yeah, if I had a whole team helping me edit and that'd be fine. Yeah. But when it's just you, it takes time.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't. That's why I hardly do it, because it's just too good. So call me. They call me a grifter, Tony, and I'm not even monetized. I don't give.
It's a love of the game thing for me. I like doing the video editing stuff. It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy it sometimes, but in order to make any money at doing it and all the time you put in, it's a lot of time.
We're busy actually trying to make money with our screens trading during the day. I don't have time to get distracted putting out a video that no one's going to watch,
It sucks.
Yeah, that's why most of my videos come out on the weekends.
If I do it, it's a labor of love. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen. Mediocre, do you want to give a shout out for your channel or your Twitter?
Yeah, real quick. So my YouTube's Mediocre Trader. My Twitter is Mediocre Trader 1. And you guys have a good night. Thank you, Tony, for having me. Corax, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll see y'all on the next one. There'll be some more coming up, some more lives, some more videos. And go watch the one I put out tonight, please. Share it. Adam Aaron says Chapter 11 is inconceivable.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back.